Friendlies, we cover the Sounders. We have Thiago Silva, our MVP in the field and in the commentary here, more controversial than ever.
No, I'm just telling you what I see out there.
Oh, and I don't disagree with you. Another topic here to cover today is the Superliga. We know that you guys out there follow the World Cup and had information coming from all sorts of directions, channels, etc. But now when it comes to the rest of the 4 years that we have, there's a lot of other leagues that the information, it's not going to be that available. So you have to come here and keep with us in foreverfootballshow.com to keep hearing about all these other side leagues that we have. In the Superliga is a tournament that actually involves the top 4 teams from Mexico and the U.S. The Sounders are not playing exactly because we are in the CONCACAF, so otherwise we would have been picked. It's all the 4 top teams, except the ones that are playing the CONCACAF. And this year we have Houston, Chicago, Chivas, and New England playing against Pachuca, Morelia, Puebla, and UNAM Tigres. And actually that tournament is already underway. Group A, you have Houston and Puebla leading the table, and in Group B we have New England and Morelia almost qualified and actually play today this week to break that tie and see who advances. But another interesting league for us to follow. Next week we're going to be covering all the details of that. What do you think about this? Is it level? Does it improve the quality of soccer in the MLS by playing against the Mexican teams?
I think so. I think Mexico has had a great impact in soccer in U.S. Because being closer to U.S. and being participating in U.S. for so many times, they have the same idea of soccer that we Latinos, in South America have it. They play that flair soccer. They have that. And if you look at United States players, the players that develop it the most in this country are the players that has been hang out with Mexicans since their young age. Yep. Like Donovan, like Dempsey that grew up in Dallas. Those guys has been immersed into the Mexican community with playing with Mexicans and learn that Mexicans, and those players are the players that has more skills today.
Yeah, so I'd like to see the MLS teams giving more value not only to the CONCACAF and the Superliga, but also even the U.S. Super Cup, because it gives a position, a spot in the CONCACAF. And I do think that this playing competitively, because the Superliga, even though it's a competition, it's not that they don't play that competitively. I think it's important for the teams to start raising their profiles by playing like that. Again, I think that we have to calibrate a little bit, because the Mexican teams, they dominate the CONCACAF, but they also play the Libertadores in South America, and even though they dominate the CONCACAF, they barely qualify in the Libertadores. So you have to calibrate that as well. Although this year the Mexican teams are doing quite a little bit better. They advance all the way to the quarterfinals, and they might even be in the semifinals of Libertadores. So with all that, you see the profile. In the end of the story, soccer all over the world is becoming much more leveled at the club level and even in the national level. We saw that in the World Cup. So I would like to see the MLS teams playing more internationally as well, not only the friendlies but competitively as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you see with the Champions League in Europe, how huge that is, and what or how much pride players take in winning that trophy. And you have to hope that that's what can happen here with the CONCACAF and the Superliga. Really value those trophies, even potentially over the league trophy. Because for me, the supporter shield is nothing here. MLS is, but to win the CONCACAF Champions League, I think that would be even more meaningful, at least for me, because the Mexican league is a strong league, and
I agree, and I really hope that the Sounders take that league very seriously, and even if save the season, if we're not going to even make to the playoffs, it starts to look like a likely scenario.
Just one thing. I think it's past the time that U.S. should be participating in what the world does, or playing other leagues so they can develop. One thing that I would agree, and I would maybe try to do it's just how can we incorporate U.S. in the Libertadores. and play Libertadores of America with us, with the South Americans, with the Mexicans, and how can we do that with the Libertadores? And another thing that we could possibly think about, it's instead of two or different qualifying for the World Cup, let's just make one qualifying, one big qualifying, the first 8 or the first 9 or whatever it is. All America, the whole thing. You know, it's just one qualifier. U.S. is going to play Brazil. Brazil is going to play U.S. because we don't get to play them for the qualifying World Cup. So let's just maybe try to do one big qualifying where everybody plays everybody. So when they get to the World Cup, they know what they're going to face because the competition in South America is so much higher than the competition they have over here. Because here they're going to play Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, they're going to go beat 10-0 Canada that plays hockey all year long, you know, so...
Yeah, that's absolutely...
So they have to start getting some real competitions. Go play Argentina in Argentina and feel like that is, you know, play Argentina in La Bombonera or play in Brazil in a Maracanã. No, trying to get qualified for it.
Yeah, that's an intriguing idea. I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah. And I would think that would be a good idea.
Interested in that topic too.
He's a little afraid that he's not going to qualify, maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, the South American teams are definitely strong, and I think that would be great, you know, experience for teams in North America to be playing South American teams more regularly. But you know, just to remind you, I think why that is you know, it's done by continents and trying to get kind of an equal representation of world teams and whatnot. And I would just be afraid that, like you said, you know, these North American teams wouldn't qualify, you know, and you know, that would be tough to see. You know.
Oh, but at least like you have Copa America and Copa and
you know
World
what?
Cup, right?
I disagree.
With champions, the super.
But what does it mean for you to qualify then? Okay, you play a very easy tournament up here, right? Because you play Canada that just plays hockey. You go play Jamaica that has 6 people, a population, and they can barely put a team together. And then when you get to the World Cup, and that has been for the last World Cups, you get there and you start facing those big teams, and you get out, or you just go for the first 11 and then you're out. So if you do that at the qualification time, and then you get to the World Cup, you're much more prepared because you have played Argentina, you have played Brazil, you have played Uruguay. So maybe you can think in that as a homework to get to the World Cup a little bit better.
I agree. It would be better preparation, and ideally, you know, I would love to play those teams going into the World Cup, and it would mean a lot more qualifying for the World Cup if we did play those teams rather than, you know, our current group.
Yeah, because for the U.S. this year was the Confederation Cup, which was that trial by fire kind of thing that prepared them much better for the World Cup.
Yeah, definitely. But see, I mean, my problem just is like, yeah, it's great in a preparation sense, but in terms of like the value of the World Cup, you know, I mean, if we were to combine the Americas, what are we going to combine Africa and Europe next? You know, I mean, it'd be great preparation for the Africans. You know, it'd be the thing about the African teams.
We're talking about continent, and America is one continent. It's not 3 different continents.
No, but they're federations. In the end of the story, it's not about the land, it's about the federations. There is CONCACAF and there is CONMEBOL, and they're different.
Yeah, they have North America and South America.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but we can possibly think about it on a way that we can put the America together.
Look, it's an intriguing idea, and I think that we might see that in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
So with that, we're gonna be closing our Forever Football Show for today. The World Cup is over, but there's a lot more soccer going on in July and August. Stay tuned for next week. We're going to talk about the Superliga, all the friendlies played by Manchester United, Manchester City, Red Bull with Thierry and he. We're going to be talking very soon in August that we're going to see the Ramon de Carranza in Spain, Copa La Paz in Spain, all these tournaments that the European teams start to prepare for the season. You're going to have the Audi Cup. You're going to have the Super Cups, when the leagues and the cups in Italy, Spain, England, all those great games before the actual leagues. So stay tuned for all of that, and we'll be back next week with ForeverFootballShow.com. Thanks for joining us.